We welcome Jake Abdullah from Media Prima Audio in Malaysia, Archana Kapoor from Radio Festival Smart in India, and Mohammed Sujaz, the Director of Technology and New Media at RRI in Indonesia. You're all very welcome. Please grab a seat, and I will sit down once you have done that. And by the way, I have to say, Jake just gave me his book, which I haven't read yet, because he literally gave it to me about 10 minutes ago. But there are a couple of chapters in here which I thought were very interesting. So as you take your, please sit down. As you take your seat, this chapter 8 is Embrace the Suck, Conquer Challenges and Thrive. So we may use that later. And then the other one which is interesting, which is chapter 17, I noticed near the back of the book, is Be Stoic, Mastering the Art of Zen Resilience. And I think that's really interesting because actually often in this business it is about being resilient, isn't it? And about, not giving up and not being phased. So let's start. First of all, do any of you have any objection at all and are absolute evangelists for not using AI? Are any of you saying AI is not for me, we're not doing it?
Yeah.
You are saying that? You're not saying that?
AI is something for us. RRI is something relevant. I mean, we don't want to be said like fear of missing out. We have to keep on track. We have to be creative. Of course, right now in traffic light, they are using AI right now. In BMKG, the weather forecast now, they are using AI. We are using AI too, but only right now for production only.
Okay, production only. We'll get to that in a minute. I don't say any more, but you are using it for production only, but you're being cautious, you're looking to see what others are doing, and just making sure you're not being left behind, but you're not jumping ahead into the crazy, wild world. Archana, what's your approach? Is yours a Wild West, or are you being cautious as well?
You cannot shy away from it. It's there in your life. You end up using it. The fear is you're getting addicted to it. So that's my biggest issue. But in India we have a phrase called dost dushman. He's your friend, but still it's your enemy. So I look at AI as a friend, but who also has the traits of becoming your enemy.
That's a really good way of thinking about it. I love that. Jake, I imagine you're probably an evangelist, judging by the tone in your book.
I would say, don't look at AI in isolation. That would be my advice. If you look at AI as, oh wow, the new buzzword or the new elephant in the room, then we're going to struggle. Like we all watch Netflix and it tells us what to watch next. That's AI. So AI is not something that's new. It's been with us. So if your answer to your question is, I would say get in with both feet now.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So yesterday, Vivek, in that opening presentation, talked about radio reinventing. He talked about some of the key strategic things we need to think about in terms of localization, in terms of personalization of content, generating new content. So let's start then with AI as a source of ideas, drafts, primary research, running orders, topics. Archana, maybe you could address that. Are you using AI in that way?
So I have been using AI, basically, I started by using it as a replacement to Grammarly. So whatever mistakes I would make in my mails or my text or my proposals, I would just run them through any AI tool, Perplexity, Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever is available. And it would give me a very nice, clean, structured, organized thing. Then it was a very gradual addiction, as I would say. And then I started asking, can you improve it? And then I started getting better content. But the fear is that there is always this fear of someone else submitting the same thing. Because, AI does not create its content. It does not generate new content. It is only using what is already available. So if you're using a 21 version, then it is giving you, only till what was available in 21. Because I remember when ChatGPT came up, then it had not been upgraded. So everything was only till 21 or 22. It's only now that a Grok or a Deep Seek, they are ahead of their times. Like they can also predict what is going to happen. So I think it's about how you use it and for what you use it, but it cannot generate content on its own.
Okay,
The
so it's not a
prompts
human being coming up with an original idea.
The prompts.
No. What about the level of questioning? How good have you got at asking questions? Because the quality of the output is a function of what you ask it to do, isn't it?
Exactly. See, it needs a lot of patience to get where you want it to be. So you need to keep on asking, your prompts have to keep on changing, like you have to raise the bar, even for AI.
Right.
And AI judges you. AI knows what your level is because it's mirroring you all the time. So you have to be sharper than AI to get something more than what you know.
Right.
That is how I would put it, because you have to keep on prodding till you finally say, okay, give me this now, I'll do the rest myself.
Okay, so keep on prodding then, a key word. Mohammed, you were nodding at that. Do you want to add to what Akanis just said?
Yeah, I agree with Arcana says about that. Yeah, our radio station is really careful with how to using AI. Right now, since 3 years ago, we're already using AI for script for the song that we created for the media saving life for mitigation disasters that we sent to all the broadcasters around the world about the media saving lives. We created the song with AI, 100% by AI. Suno, we use AI. Of course, we also use AI to from the script for our announcer, for newscasters, but not for the news on onlines. It's absolutely maybe 95% by humans. And
So the news script was produced by AI, but it was read by humans.
Yeah.
Right. And with the song was entirely AI created.
Yes.
Would you consider having all your music AI created?
RRE actually not created song. We are not the publisher for the song, but sometimes we create the song that we want. If you have events like ABU event or disaster event or any other event that we, a lot of artists and RRIs, so it takes a long time for me to create from beginnings. So we use AI to create the lyrics and the music.
Right. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. Jake, so using it as a primary source of research, creating some content, but gentle steps. Where were you with that?
I have a very different opinion. Again, if we look at AI as a tool, then we are going to struggle. I look at AI as a resource. And I've said this for the longest time. Just quickly to elaborate, I don't only consult Media Prima, I consult other companies, banks to financial institutions on AI. So coming back to radio. So if you think about it, I ask myself, what problem am I trying to fix, okay? And how fast can I do it? How cheaper can I do it? I give you an example. This morning I got up after Subuh prayers, I saw something that was really interesting. A company in India is doing 2-minute video episodes on YouTube, and this is going to disrupt television, okay? And there's 30 of them. So I called up the radio guys and I said, look, Ramadan is coming. I'm giving you this idea now. Ramadan is coming in a couple of months. Why don't we do the same? Why don't we do 2-minute episodes which can cut across all platforms while having the audio on radio, and we do product placements across, Do you think this is better than a commercial? The answer is, of course, yes. I know it's a weighted question. Now think about it. Is this beneficial for the client? Are we actually fixing a problem for the client? Yes, we are. Suddenly the synergy is there. The price becomes, you can demand the price. Now you have to think about it this way. AI is not a tool that is going to change. I always use the analogy, the DVD man. But those days in Malaysia, you could buy DVD from fake DVDs, you could walk into a shop, the guy's disappeared, because right now we don't have that. So AI, to me, has to be used in a way that is going to assist us to get things done faster, better, and cheaper.
Right. Okay, that's great. Now, those Ramadan inserts, did they go on air? I mean, whilst the Ramadan's not happened yet, but when they go on air, will there be any issue, do you think, with the audience? Is there any sense the audience do the audience need to know these Ramadan inserts are AI created?
I'm talking about how you create the scripts And I'm talking about the production. I'm not talking, we are going to use real people to
Oh,
still
real
do
people
it.
to voice it, right.
Yes, yes.
What about, for example, languaging? Say you want to do it in Malay for Malaysia, you know, you wanted Arabic maybe for other countries. Would you use AI to create those language versions?
Yes, in Malaysia, we are very, very unique where we speak 3 different languages. So yes,
So
in
you've got
Malaysia,
Tamil
it's-
as well,
yes,
and English and
Chinese,
Chinese.
and Malay. Yeah,
Yeah, we
Yes.
need Bahasa Indonesia for here. Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
But you could do that with AI?
of course.
All right, okay, fantastic. Now, Akan, I know what you've been doing, which is very interesting, is you've been doing a lot of work in small rural communities. And this is back to this personalization idea, working in very small towns in Tamil Nadu and using AI for that. So can you tell us about what you've been doing and how you've been using that tool to get closer to those communities?
So, I'll just take a step back. I somehow don't agree with my
Okay, well,
colleague here,
disagree
or my
first,
panelist
and then
here.
answer my question.
No, because it's a facilitator. It's not an original resource. So you can, like, it can help you create a script, but it will not create the script for you. Similarly, coming to your question now, we have 22 nationalized, recognized languages in India. We have over 2,500 dialects in India. I think I'm under, mentioning it may be many, many more local dialects. AI is still not geared towards that. So we do programs, and there are some generic programs which, because I run a community radio, and community radio is all about local content, local language, hyper-local, these kind of things. So obviously we don't want to take away that bit of the community radio by giving them ready-made content, because then we are just making them more and more lazy and more reliable, and they're losing their community engagement. They're losing this will to go into the community, find out what is happening, and come back with the truth. So we are depending on one machine which is going to give us whatever we are asking it to give, or whatever it thinks it should give us. Coming back to the languages, it is still not skilled enough to give me a thing, say, supposing in the one
But
of
it
the
could
very...
give you, sorry, no, it could give you Tamil, it could give you Hindi, but are
Not
you saying
Tamil,
that,
but it's not correct. It's still not,
well,
because...
the accent's incorrect?
No, its interpretation of
Right.
concepts is not as you are
But
trying
isn't
to
that only a
project.
matter of time?
Maybe, yes, maybe 5 years. I don't think
I think
before
less than that. I think less than that.
We are testing it with an AI startup,
Yeah.
because like we are doing programs for a Nepalese audience. They keep asking us, give us in Nepalese. We don't have it. So we put it on one of the AI tools. We give them, we say, please go through it, read it,
Right.
correct it. This is the original script, match it, and then broadcast it.
Okay.
So it's a facilitator. It speeds up definitely, but it's not 100% reliable tool yet.
Okay, so you're using it to speed up. Presumably you've got people checking. You were talking about a project you were doing in Madurai, which was interesting when we met yesterday.
Sorry?
You mentioned a project you were doing in Madurai when we met yesterday.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that very quickly?
Yeah, so same thing. It holds the same thing. So we are working in Tamil Nadu. As I said, the north doesn't know the languages spoken in the south, and the east doesn't know anything about the west. So down south, we have 4 states, 4 different languages and several dialects. So we are working in Tamil language. We are running a program. So like even here in Bahasa, yesterday I went to the market. I was just typing everything in English and asking AI to translate, and I was able to communicate. I could use audio also. So it's good for that. We are again running the scripts through. It's very easy for us to, kind of show or even use the text to speech. But I'm just sorry for repeating, but it is not 100% correct.
Okay, Mohammed, do you agree or disagree? I mean, where do you sit between Jake and Akana, who have slightly different ends of the spectrum at the moment?
Agree and disagree, because
You agree and disagree? You're the diplomat. Come on, come, tell us what you really think.
RRI is, I already prepared the presentation actually, but I would say just RRI is very big, like any other public service broadcasting in other countries. We are in 105 area. We are 105 stations.
Right.
So if times the canal, right now we have 212 canals. They broadcast 19 hours until 24 hours a day. So we have a filler, we have a news, we have any kind of production, we have a song, we have everything. So right now, since the AIs come up to this world, right now we are more comfortable with the AI, especially for productions. That's giving us more easier to produce the filler, to produce the advertisement, to produce the songs, to produce the clips, even to make a scheduling for our own air. Then our technician, our broadcaster can just.
So you're doing school schedules,
Yeah.
which is scheduling music and
Yes.
all the other content using AI.
Yeah.
So you're not using one of the tools you can get on the market. You're doing it entirely with AI.
Some of the stations
Some
use
of them.
AI,
Okay.
but not for news. We are never agree to implement AI on news.
And why not news?
I would say I've seen some of the broadcasting company use AI. Let's say if there's something happen in towns, there's a fire happen in town. I've seen that the broadcasting company use AI to put the reporters on the fields, which is actually not on the field, and they put the script and directly can report on the spots in that area. It sounds like fake, especially right now. A lot of fake thing happen, even in Indonesia, in this last 1 week happens. So we are not feeling comfortable to use AI for the report on the spot and also the news. People will think so many things fakes on news that created by AI, so they don't want to be in the circle of that.
So it's about trust,
Yeah.
basically. I mean, do you declare to the audience when you're using AI and when you're not? Do you tell them it's made with
We
AI?
tell them.
You tell them. And is that
In
important?
our social media, in
Yes.
our website, we tell them when we use AI and when we use the humans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jake, do you think these two are being a little bit cautious, or do you think it's still a learning curve?
It depends on the industry. I mean, coming from a private radio station to a public radio station, the complexities are different. Like our owners is, besides condoning to all the compliances in the country, our job is to give value to our stakeholders. Yeah, so definitely radio is going to be very aggressively challenged by the advent of AI. And like I said, AI's ramp up is 10x to 20x per year. If you don't get in now, you get in 2 years later, you're going to struggle. I'll give you a very simple example. Okay, ad checking. How many content directors here? You're a content director, you're ad checking, right? The previous, those days, the archaic way or the historical way is you walk into your PD's room, the PD is putting in a tape or CD or something and ad checking you. And usually you get about the same feedback and stuff like that, and the CD is begrudgingly doing it, the talent is begrudgingly listening to it. Nowadays, I get the transcript, I sit down, I put in my prompt, the nuances are coming, I track it, I tell the announcer, this is happening, I like this, do, take this. Now here's what you do. Take that, track it over 4 weeks, and build it. Stuff you can do. Scheduling. I know the RCS guys are here, I love you guys, but think about it. If I'm a CHR station with 180 songs, and I say, you know what, ChatGPT, can you please, based on these rules, create a 10-hour schedule for me, plus give me 2 hours of thematics? You know, can it be done? Of course it can be done. So suddenly the complexities are much easier. Why I like is it's taking away the menial task for us to focus more on creativity.
That's a really good point. I mean,
Yeah.
taking away the menial task, the repetitive stuff, the routine stuff, so we can focus on the creative. Let's just talk about the air checking for a second. That's really interesting. Can I ask a question? How many of you in the room here conduct air checking with your talent? Okay, quite a few. And so an important thing to do, right? To make sure that the talent feels motivated, guided, supported, learning. I mean, what's been the difference? Doing it the way you're doing it, Jake, what benefits have you seen?
Okay, so what they do is they get notes immediately straight after. That means if I sit down with the talent, we listen to, I got the transcripts. Most of the time, we don't have a transcript, and we have the transcripts. We can see the pauses. If we prompt rightly, we can actually understand nuances and cadence. We can map with the brand value of the station. This setup is all in the initial period. Post 4 weeks, suddenly you will be able to see, hey, he's grown. Classic example, assuming the announcer drags the intro too long, or you time that. But let's be very honest. I mean, there are some really good PDs in the room here, and know how much of this air checking actually works, because when you're working with the talent, but when the talent starts to see notes that is tracked with data, suddenly they improve.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. I mean, if you think about it too, in this world we're going into, the talent's going to become more important, isn't it? As a differentiator, going back to that point about how you differentiate, how you become locally relevant, culturally relevant, great talent, Mohammed, is critical, isn't it? It's critical. It's a question to you.
Yeah. Of course, like India, maybe we have 500 languages, if I say.
500?
500 languages.
India, you've just
all
been
over
beaten by
Indonesia.
Indonesia, 500 versus
Yes.
22. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yours are recognized 500 languages.
Yeah, you can Google it. You can check on Wikipedia.
That was a sort of tentative yes.
That that the data is in RRI radio station. We are 105 stations all over the Indonesians. Our share from based on the AC Nielsen is 47% all over Indonesia. But
That's
not
fantastic.
Not in Jakarta. It's difficult to beat the Mustang, Mahaka, and or any others. But in other provinces, unless Jakarta, we are the winners. At least we are bigger. Not the top, but we are bigger. That's why we are really concerned that in some stations, maybe majority stations, broadcast with the local language, which is, I don't know, still now we are not concerning or trust 100% to AI script with the local language. But it's okay for production, but not for local, for news, for talents, maybe. But for production, like a book review, for sounds, for sound engineering, we use AI. We buy some equipment from RCS or any other company that are already here as a sponsors, which is it helped by AI on different platforms.
Okay, so you think it's useful, but it's not there yet. I mean,
Yeah.
but you think it will improve. And Philippe is nodding and smiling, so Philippe from RCS, thank you for that. Let's talk a bit about using AI as a source of audience intelligence, about listener insights, understanding better your audience. You said there that Mustang, who we heard from earlier, are doing very well, she's smiling, doing very well in Jakarta, but not obviously outside Jakarta, you do better. Understanding your audience and using AI for data analysis is a really important new opportunity, isn't it, Jake?
Again, I have a very polarizing opinion. Radio to me has got to be more than a listening medium. It has to be. And when we talk about data, what better data can you derive, other than digital, which can be immediate? You can track campaigns that work for clients with immediacy, And this is why I keep saying, and I sound like a broken record here, but the currency of radio shouldn't just be listen. It should be listen and watch. It should be that. Because classic example, Media Prima Audio, Fly FM is #1 digitally. But if you go on the basics of Nielsen, which is a Dari survey or a RAM or a GFK and all that, so I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, let's be honest, and capture the full data. So this gives us now suddenly an opportunity to track data. I can use meltwater, I can use,
And what other data would you create? I mean, obviously in television, you've got all sorts of metadata, which will include images, graphics, text for VOD, and so on. What other data would radio benefit from, do you think?
From a revenue point, I think it is very important that we are able to track any promotional activity we do for a client. In fact, they are paying us, right? So assuming we integrate a client integration to that, they're paying us X amount of dollars from thank you brought to you by Coca-Cola. Right now, we ingrain them into our DNA, and they are able to see the difference. So I think that's really important.
Well, it's important for lots of reasons, isn't it? Not least that getting more revenue into radio is not easy. Radio's been reliant on spot advertising. It's been reliant on broadcasting with all sorts of different methodologies for researching, which is not actually the same as the digital one where you've got direct accountability. Are you saying this could be a way to actually improve accountability and therefore drive up revenue, radio's share of revenue?
If we talk about radio and we just use a listening listening diary or listening measurement, then why bother about the digital components? This is my point. Perception. This is a perception game we're playing. Either you I've always said this very clearly. I don't care whether you listen to me. I care whether you think you listen to me. So perception has to win. So right now we are tracking a lot of digital movement, because you get up in the morning, you don't turn on the radio, you look at your Instagram, right? So I'd rather I be there. So I can track that. How do I track the radio?
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. I mean, I think there's an opportunity there, and radio's lagging behind in some ways, other media. Okay, now what about using AI as a means of better understanding your audience?
No. So you know what? We are presuming that everybody has gone digital and all your listeners are listening on a digital platform. We are forgetting that at least in India, we're still analog. And there are lots of listeners who are not your data sources, who are not being registered on AI, because what is AI? AI is your algorithm. That's number one. So if we are going to use AI to judge our audience and to judge their demands and to judge what they are consuming and build our revenue models just based on that, it's not going to work. Because there are tons and tons and tons and millions of listeners who are not on the digital platforms. That's one. The second thing is, let's not forget, what is AI? AI is reflecting your own biases. If you are a right-winger, it tells you everything that you want to know about right-wing. If you're a left-winger, it will tell you everything that you want to know about left-wing. It is giving you there what you want. It is pleasing you. You tell them, no, this is not what I want. What's wrong with you? They'll say, sorry. Is this what you want? Who are we talking to? Where is the radio there? Where is the trust factor there? Where is the engagement there? Where is that individual, one person who's listening to me, who I talk to when I'm on air? We are looking at some data source, some technology which is going to guide us. We are losing touch with humanity. We are losing touch with real people. We are losing touch with real voices. And let's not forget, maybe I'm very nascent, maybe I'm an infant where using AI is concerned, but it is so synthetic. Yesterday or day before we were in one of the workshops, it was taking a world of a time in just generating one animation and then to give it text, and then, so it's cost, it's time, it's frustrating. It's so easy to open the door and go out and talk to 4 people and come back here. I think that's what's radio about, whether it is community, whether it is public, and particularly for public broadcasters. You have to have the pulse of the people. You can, again, I repeat, it's a facilitator, not somebody which is going to lay down the rules for you, give you everything, this is your audience, invest in this, invest in that. Has to be a people-to-people survey, a one-to-one contact.
Yeah, your bias point's interesting. The sort of self-serving nature is interesting. In terms of data analysis and understanding your markets better, where are you with that, Mohammed?
Yeah, I agree with you too, because RRI is now concerning with the data analytic. Right now we use 2 options since for digital we already used it 5 years ago. But for the conventional data analytic we use 2 years ago. First, for example, like for in our news department, we use search engine optimization. We use the keyword to start with the agenda setting every day. We use agenda setting twice a day. So we use AI very much to know what happened in Indonesia, the noise, the emotions, what people talking about, the networks and everything, what any other broadcast station, news company talk about. We use that to focus on our agenda settings. And also for social media, of course, we use that to see who is our audience, who is our, what's the comment in it. And of course, beside that, in our broadcast, 19 hours a day, 24 hours a day, every hour, our producer, our gatekeepers also use the manual data analytic to talk to our audience right after the show ends, or they can talk to our listener who send message to our WhatsApp to see what their opinion about the show, the last show that they listen. But the last show that maybe the yesterday's show, it's it giving us a lot of data that can we use every day to evaluate what kind of program that may be suitable for our listeners, that maybe can skip, maybe can keep it in programs. So that's the option that we use until right now.
Can you give an example maybe of data you've garnered and how you've made an editorial change, you know, how that's worked?
Yeah, for example, like we have in Jakarta right now, since 5 years ago, we called it the Indonesia Menyapa. Pagi Indonesia Menyapa, Siang Indonesia Menyapa. So it's like national programs that operate by the news centers here. Because our office is just nearby. I can be the host if you want to come by here. Just in front of the President Palace. Okay. It's very safe.
Very safe. Very safe.
Very safe.
Okay.
Just in front of the President Palace. Okay. Right now he is in China, I think. We, since 5 months ago, after we evaluate the two options that we already said about is people is more and more need to be mentioned, to be poked from their interaction from the social media that we have, the comments, the likes, and any others comment in our data. So in this 5 months, we changed not much, 50% how we formulate the programs. Before, we used the interactive programs, talk show. Now we use to 50% netizen perspective that already now we use in the programs. We changed the program from Indonesia Menyapa into Halo RRI. So it mentioned that people who listen RRI can speak on our radios, rather than just to invite the spokespersons to talk on the radio. Now we are more and more invite listeners to talk in the radio.
Okay, let's talk about jobs. People worry that AI is going to take away jobs. And there's all sorts of wise words spoken on this, but you know, one of the cliches is that if you don't embrace AI won't take away your job, but someone else is going to get the job who does actually embrace AI. Jake, I mean, do you think there will be people who will regard AI as just a means to cut jobs and cut workforce and reduce costs?
I remember when the word new media and digital suddenly came into the market like about 20 years ago, and everybody thought that was the buzzword, right? So, to be very honest, yes, there are lots of jobs that are going to be replaced. And you said it very, you know, you were right. In Media Prima, we've already got prompt engineers. We've repurposed people. So think about this. Those days when I have a proposal I need to send out to my client, I send it out to my promotion team talks to sales. The whole journey takes 2 weeks, right? It's done in 2 hours now. If it's done in 2 hours, that means we suddenly are being very efficient, right? So what do we do with this efficiency? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to replace, enhance them with software. We're doing software training. So our people are very skilled. A classic example, I was sitting outside just now there, and I did a LinkedIn carousel in 10 minutes, all using AI. So this is going to be very rampant. Presentation, you got Gamma, you got so many tools. What's going to happen is the jobs are going to change.
For the better, I mean.
For the better.
Right.
For the better. I'll give you an example. I am probably the world's longest playing actual DJ, 45 years. Okay. When I started off, I was spinning vinyl. I played with the first 1200s. I'm still spinning, but I'm using the best tech. And
really sorry, I've been doing it 49 years.
Yeah, oh, you beat me.
Sorry,
beat me,
just
okay.
beat you.
Okay, so you think about it this way. Think about it this way. I still hear the old DJs complaining, oh, you know, vinyl's warmer and, oh, they lost the craft and all that. They keep complaining about it. But we are, you know, with this technology, we are going out and we're reaching more people. And that, to me, is really important. Back then, I had to lug one whole, vinyl in the plane and stuff. Now I got a thumb drive. Bang, 15,000 songs. And with technology. So even that can be done with an AI. Yeah.
What new jobs do you think will be created as a consequence in radio? What do you think the new jobs might be? We're going to get rid of the mundane.
Generalists. I
Generalist.
feel it is the dawn of the generalist. I'm a generalist. I love it. I'm a solopreneur. I'm a one-person company who consults 5 or 6 companies. Those days, I need to have maybe 12 people. It's only me now. It's really only me. Everything is done by me. Probably sometimes when I need outside help, I get somebody on an ad hoc basis. But that's going to happen. You're going to get generalists. Those days, you have one person doing one job, right? 8 hours, clock in, cigarette break, come back, lunch. It's gone. These days, we are working on our phone. We've got all this beautiful tech, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, Grok, you name it. And these are only prompt LLMs. There's so many other stuff you can do, like a nano banana, like VO3. Yeah.
We had a great workshop actually earlier in the week on AI, and there's a presentation later about AI tools. So no lack of information.
I'm really
later on
excited about
today.
it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You just gave me a great promo to future presentation. In terms of jobs at your station in India, how do you see AI changing those?
I think the quality is getting better. The mistakes that we were making, we are not making. The quality is getting better. The content is getting better. It's not a replacement, I repeat. But I totally agree with Jake when he says we have to plan for the future. We have to skill up people for the future. And let me tell you that in UAE, they already have a ministry for future. So people have started thinking. So it's about, and I loved what the minister said. She is the minister for creative economy. So when we talk about creative economy, we talk about future, we have to kind of beat what AI is taking away from us. And we have to plan for the future. And maybe, as he said, generalists, yes, I agree with you on all these things, by the way. So
We're getting more agreement now. This is good.
Yes.
This is good.
So we are looking for generalists, but we are looking for very sensitive prompters. We are looking for very sensitive people who can break this technology layer by layer and create more advanced technology by kind of demystifying this and, creating more challenges. And I totally agree. When when TV came in, people said the journalists will lose the job. When social media came in and everybody started doing video casting and podcasting, they said radio would close. But we are still doing Radio Days Asia, Radio Days Europe, Radio Days Festival in India. So radio is here. It's only going to create the clutter, but we will all have to find our own niches and try to demystify technology as soon as fast as we can.
Yeah, radio is a magical medium. It's incredibly strong, and I'm
Yes.
confident it will continue to be strong. Mohammed, changing jobs, training issues, how will you handle that change and that transition? Probably easier with young people, but with older people who've been in the company a while, how will you encourage them to adapt and adopt AI and change their jobs?
In Adara we have what we call Voice of Indonesia, which is broadcast in shortwave and streaming to Asia Pacific, America, Europe, and in that department we have 8 languages: Mandarin, Arabic, Germany, Spain, and others. I would say that in every desk of languages, it consists of at least 9 persons who work with as a writers, as a corrector, and also as a translators. Of course, we have heard about the efficiency policy in Indonesia that implemented by Governor right now. But we use that moment to, I would say, sorry if we already cut at least 50% personnel in every desk.
50% already?
Yes.
Right.
So we cut the budget for translator, we cut the budget for corrector, we only keep for writers and 1 person who in charge with the test for publishers.
So you're saving quite a lot of money already. How are you investing that saving?
Another efficiency that we already implement this year is maybe we will cut AC Nielsen's budget for their survey. The cost is very expensive. Let's say it's $1 million in rupiah, something that maybe we cut for the digitals, but we also but we will keep for the analog listener. But in digital, we save at least 50%, and then we can allocate it into the budget for buy technology, AI, and others tools for the audio and
Right.
sound
Well,
quality.
that's very impressive. You're
Yeah.
saving that money, then reinvesting it back into the business.
Yeah.
I want to take some questions at the end. If you have got a question, do think of a question now. Before we do that, Ken, I want to come to you on the issue of ethics and legal. AI is fraught with problems, people actually misappropriating other people's content, images, voice, and so on. Where do you stand on that, and how do you see that being resolved?
I think this is a very self-driven thing. You have to be ethical, because when Google, puts out so much content, people think whatever's on internet is free to use. They seldom go to the tools of, Creative Commons or common, or, no permissions needed. I think in the morning also somebody was talking about ethics yesterday. I think ethical code has to be developed by every organization, every company, and there has to be some generic code of ethics which has to be developed by all the broadcasters and users of AI. And that should be like, you have something which Europe has developed on fake news and digital media and things like that. I think that is the need of the hour, because a lot of people are not attributing, and as Mohammed just said, that, they always write that this is an AI-generated content. So even if we use anything on YouTube, we always say this is AI-generated. We always give credit for something which has not been created by us. And now the laws are...
Do you pay? I mean, for example, if you're taking someone's work, would you negotiate with the estate to pay, or would you just take it anyway?
If it does not ask for payment and only attribution, we would attribute. But if we are using pictures, we always pay.
Okay.
Because that is, I think you have to set your own rules and you have to lead by example.
So you're acting with integrity there, and you're respecting people's work.
Because without that, you cannot be in a public space.
Right. And then that's again about trust with your audience, isn't it?
It's trust with, you trust yourself, you trust your organization, because tomorrow anybody can give me something which is not mine and I can use it, and then I would be, embroiled in all kinds of court cases.
Right.
So
right.
these are some of the code of ethics that we have to lay down whenever anybody is using anything on the net or on AI.
What advice do you give, Jake, to Media Prima and other customers?
I think Archana made a very salient point here, because compliance in radio has to change. It has to integrate AI compliance. For example, sometimes an announcer might rush after seeing something on some video on TikTok, and he puts it up and he quotes that, but it could be deepfake, it could be somebody, So there has got to be some accountability. So there's got to be some safeguards here. Classic example is news. I know India till today uses All India Radio. Because it's the same in Malaysia. We can deliver the news, but it's got to be from somebody reputable, and we have to credit. In terms of crediting, whether we use AI clones or what, Fly FM had the first AI announcer in Asia, I think. So, and we said it's Aina. We actually said it. So once we disclosed it, then there was not an issue anymore. So I guess it depends on the community.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's take some questions. Who would like to ask a question of our panel? If not, I'm going to choose somebody. But who would like to ask a question? I'm just going to stand up. Who would like to go first? No one going to volunteer, in which case I'm going to pick on somebody, and I'm going to pick on a senior person, Philippe from RCS. Right. Let's get a microphone to you, and we look forward to your question.
Okay, thank you. How about we hop on the last things that you talked about. On a practical point of view, you are a talent that is signing at a radio station, right? You're moving, and they give you a shift, or you're going to be a producer, you're going to be something. What do you think the talent should ask the radio station in terms of AI protection for their own voice, their own content? How long can it be used? Can it be used? Can the voice be used in any context? In any context, for any commercial, any topic? Should he have a control on the topic? And once he or she asks all that, she's going to not be hired because it's too complicated. So where does the buck stop for
Where's the
somebody
balance?
Yes.
We've actually started on this. Good question. We've actually started on this. You hit it on the nail because while technology is ramping up, the other aspect of it also has to ramp up. So whenever we hire talent, there is also a rate card for what can we use. Can we use your voice? Can we use your this? Can we use that? What, assuming you're Muslim, you're not allowed to promote this. So there is actually a rate card. Before there wasn't. So that means like the VO for Fly FM, Rob Middleton, the famous Rob Middleton, we license his voice. He doesn't even have to come into the studio. He did a 30-minute take, and we used his nuances, and we do it. So
And he gets paid for that.
he gets paid. Every month he gets a check. But we've taken that away, you know. So
It's the ultimate working from home, isn't it, really?
Yes,
You don't do any work,
it
and you
is.
get paid.
Exactly. So for talent, yes, don't come all the way, and especially in Jakarta, macet ya, banget ya. So
The traffic's a lot better than it used to be.
so last 2 days was brilliant. So even for announcers, because a lot of them we use them for visual work, right? Can we duplicate them onto using AI? Yes. So we have to put it in the contract. Yeah. Good question, Philip. Yeah.
And Akana, anything to add?
I have nothing to say on that because we've not reached there yet.
All right, okay. Right, so the gentleman at the back here, if you could get the microphone to him, you could say where you're from, please, your organisation and your name. Gentleman right at the back, that's great. And then this gentleman here is next after this. Get the microphone
Kia
to
ora,
him now.
my name's Peter Lucas Jones. I'm from Aotearoa, New Zealand, Te Hiku Media.
Welcome.
I'm interested in the context of localized language models and the context that was spoken about in India. I'm keen to understand if the three of you have a view on data pipelines for natural language processing. Kia ora.
Okay, so data pipelines for language processing. So what do you want to understand about it?
So like that's broadcasting, and there was a comment earlier about how data in general and natural language that's used in conversation, topical issue, voice breaks, things like that can represent, of course, data that can be tagged and labeled for speech and text pairs for developing or fine-tuning models for localized problems that we need solutions for. Kia ora.
You were saying earlier you didn't think the model was there yet, but in terms of the principle, do you want to comment on that question?
Yeah, in terms of principle, it will definitely help us a lot because there are a number of issues there. They aren't resource-rich stations because these are community radio stations, but they want to connect with their audiences. So if they can immediately translate and have the transcripts ready in the local dialect, I think a tool would be very, very helpful. And the government has funded quite a few AI startups, particularly in Bangalore, and I met one of them just before I left for this place. And we are very keen to explore, so I've just sent some content to them to see how close they are. But this is co-creation. Let's remember that it has to be co-created, cannot depend entirely on technology for creation.
Right. I mean, and I think, look, we've got Malaysia, India, and Indonesia on the panel here. For all of you, multiple languages, multiple dialects in your countries, you're all going to need this service. Next question is this gentleman here at the front.
Manish.
Get the microphone to him. I think it's be the last question, and then we're going to break for coffee. Can you give your name, please, and your question?
Yes, my name is Manish Raj. I'm from Canberra, Australia. I'm the producer and broadcaster for the Hindi radio channel, Radio Manpasand, as well as I'm the station manager for the Canberra Multicultural Service, which broadcasts 30 different languages in Canberra and throughout Australia. Thanks, Paul. Talking of AI, what is the credibility? How do I believe what I'm seeing on the AI is right, is true? Because as Archana mentioned, it could be swayed by, because it's been, the feeding of AI is done by human beings, isn't it? There's no, so how do I believe what I'm seeing on AI is correct? Because it's a mix of Wikipedia, Google, and different search engines. And even it takes, I put a review on Facebook, and it picked up my review in the AI. When I was looking for something, the whole my write-up was there in the AI. I said, so how do I
How
trust?
do you trust it?
Trust.
Mohammed?
And second question is,
Well, hang on. Let's do one at a time. So the issue of trust, Mohammed.
Yeah, I would like to flip the issue, right? That means RRI is a producer of our contents. They already say that we have a lot of stations that we have network stations. We also the publisher for every contents. So where are we when we are create, produce, and publish the content that may be used by any other you here that I can assume 100% that if you search RRI sounds on AI, RRI news on AI, RRI song, RRI any other production from RRI that you can use on AI. So I don't know if maybe Jake can have a
I'm trying to understand your question.
Yeah.
I believe
Solution.
with every technology, there's going to be some ebb and flow. There's going to be some right and wrongs and stuff like that. So, like I said earlier, there's got to be some self-governance. Definitely some self-governance and compliance. If you're an announcer who is just a moron who sees something in TikTok and said the world is flat and goes and says the world is flat, exactly, yeah. So, but we cannot deny, and I want to reiterate this fact, and I speak to, apart from radio companies, I speak to like a lot of other companies about the fact that there is nothing that has ramped up faster than AI. This is doing 100x over internet. So this is only going to get better, faster, and cheaper. While there is a little bit of pushback from some people, and I totally understand, but this to me is already the future. And it's inevitable. I can understand the nuances in India with so many languages and all that, but it will catch up.
We'll catch up. Can we do the second half of your question in the coffee break? Because otherwise we're going to be late. I'm going to just say a big thank you, Jake, Alkana, and Mohammed. Really fascinating. And I want to just remind you of this paragraph from Jake's book, which is this one here. So I haven't read it yet, but I hear it's very good. You told me it's very good, Jake, so I'm sure it is. Chapter 8, embrace the suck, conquer challenges, and thrive. That's what we're all going to do, isn't it? Thank you very much indeed. Our next session is about content, and that's going to be in about half an hour. Time for a coffee break. Enjoy your coffee break. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Paul, for being such a fabulous moderator.
can I take a picture with you guys? Is it okay?
Yeah. I was hoping that somebody can take a picture.